don't have any more justification for them. I don't have the same faith that I did in the law like I used to before.
Right now, here on Good Morning Quad Cities, even with the Department of Justice's report on the Chicago Police Department, why there are mixed reactions for the future.
And helping out our nation's bird, why a Missouri family is trying to help researchers in our area track bald eagles better.
Live from WQAD, this is News 8's Good Morning Quad Cities.
Good morning and welcome. It is Monday, January 16th. I'm Angie Sharp.
And I'm Jonathan Ketz. Thank you for joining us. Slick conditions outside today, hearing one report of an accident right now on I-88. We are continuing to follow those stories right now, but first we want to get a look at the forecast and see when this could come to an end maybe today.
And we will talk with Eric in just a moment, but first we want to take a live look outside. News 8's Lauren Simone is driving around to see how slippery the roads are and where it's the worst. Let's check in with her right now. Lauren?
Yes, good morning, guys. You know, we just kind of slid on in here, just starting to drive here. We're right in Bettendorf, off 18th Street in Lincoln. And you know what, like these conditions, don't let this fool you. These conditions, they look wet and it looks like you can get through it, but there are definitely these icy spots that will definitely, you know, surprise you. I know that we were at a traffic light a little earlier and I looked to the side of me and there was just this ice buildup that had I not taken a good look at it, I would have completely missed it. So drivers definitely need to take a good look when they're out here driving. And then also too, these crews, public works crews and Bettendorf, we drove through Davenport and Moline and Rock Island, they are all out here trying to make these conditions as good as possible so people can, you know, get on over to work. So we'll definitely bring you more within the last bit of the show here. I'm going to send this back to you guys.
Lauren, thank you. And whenever you are away from the television and on the go, you can get the latest information on our Storm Track 8 weather app. There's an interactive radar, hour-by-hour forecast, and much more. It's all right there at your fingertips. The app is free for both Apple and Android users. Well, let's take a look now at road conditions from a statewide view. In Iowa, much of the state, including the Iowa Quad Cities, is in blue, which means partially covered with ice. The pink and purple are where it's the worst. Travel is not advised at all in the northeastern part of the state. Let's take a look at Illinois road conditions now. Green is good, and that's where much of the state stands right now, including some of the Illinois Quad Cities. Yellow means patches of ice and snow, which is what we're seeing in the northwestern part of the state. Roads may get worse before they get better. Storm
Track 8 meteorologist Eric Sorensen is tracking that and is here now to time everything out before you head out the door. Eric?
Yeah, we've got a lot of reports coming in of very, very slick roadways. Orion to Davenport, be careful. Also some of the roadways into Mercer County. A little bit slushier as you head to the south and a little bit worse as you head to the northeast. Winter weather advisory continues through noon. Here's a look at the radar picture, and we still have heavy freezing rain coming down across Muscatine through Scott County, and also really treacherous in toward Joe Daviess County as well. Also watching those temperatures, just because it's sitting at 32 or 33 degrees, we really need that to go up to 34 or 35 before we can give some sort of an all clear. So get ready for a very slick morning commute. Temperatures are in the 30s, but we will rise above freezing at midday today, and that will melt a lot of the glaze that's out there right now. We'll keep you keep tabs and keep those reports coming into us on the WQAD Facebook page, and we'll pass those along to everybody this morning.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. Mid-American energy crews in Iowa are prepared for ice and possible widespread power outages. Ice can cause power lines and poles to snap, leaving customers in the dark. The company says the state hasn't seen a widespread ice storm in nearly a decade. The energy company will have extra linemen and field crews on hand, and in a worst-case scenario, crews will receive help from out of state. Customers should stay clear of downed power lines and call in any outages. Some people who have been waiting for weather like this to go for a drive, including plow crews and landscape services. With less than 4 inches snowfall for the season, business has been slow. But crews say they are already prepared on helping thaw out in any way they can.
We prepare for this one a little differently than we do a normal winter storm. We'll be doing extra anti-icing applications.
It's always nice to get that extra income from a snow event or an ice event.
Plow crews in Des Moines say they had the entire weekend to prepare for the storm.
An off-duty Chicago police officer shot and killed a man in a confrontation over the weekend. Officers say they believe 34-year-old Herbert Johnson was involved in a shooting moments earlier that left 3 people injured. Neighbors say they're scared because the first shooting happened near a school and a park. The officer is on desk duty while the police-involved shooting is being investigated. The people injured in the original shooting are all expected to recover. That shooting comes after a federal investigation found Chicago police officers are using excessive force too often. On Friday, U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch announced that there is reasonable cause to believe that the Chicago Police Department has engaged in a pattern of excessive force. The findings come from a 13-month investigation into the department. There's also been a lot of reaction since, not only from police, but from the families of victims in officer-involved shootings.
They say things and they still cover each other up. I don't have any more justification for them. I don't have the same faith that I did in the law like I used to before, serve and protect, because you took my loved one from me.
A lot of the issues raised and a lot of the recommendations came from rank and file officers. So these are things that they're asking for. So in that sense, I think that this will help morale, because now they're getting a sense that we actually care about them and they'll get the things that they need.
The Department of Justice investigation began after the 2015 police shooting death of 17-year-old Laquan McDonald.
People living in an East Moline apartment complex say they've been living without heat on and off since last year. They say heating problems at the McKinney apartments have happened nearly a dozen times since November, and it happened again last week. The lack of heat is one of the handfuls of problems people have been dealing with since the former owner, Bob Simmons, with pen and ink, ditched the property and filed bankruptcy. People living here say the property has been poorly managed for years, with the building ownership in limbo and no one really in control.
It's cold. We got families in here with 2, 3, 4, and 5-year-old kids living in this building with no heat.
WQAD News 8 has since been told work was done on the boiler. Well, a Scott County man says he wants the mess behind his house cleaned up. Jerry Tracy lives in front of what's left of the Lake Kenyatta Mobile Home Park located just outside of West Davenport. It closed more than a year and a half ago because of sewer problems. When residents left, everything else stayed there, including more than 30 trailers. The county says it has asked the new owner to clean up the garbage, but as far as the trailers go, the DNR is handling it. The county says the DNR tested the trailers to see if there is any asbestos. It's waiting on those results before it gives the owners the go-ahead to tear them down.
A Quad Cities man is being remembered for helping the bald eagle population grow. Dana Manternach's dad, Don, lost his battle to brain cancer last July. Since then, family and friends donated money to buy a solar-powered tracking device in his honor. Researchers say the device goes on the eagle like a backpack. It tracks migration patterns and day-to-day eagle activity.
To be able to understand how stuff that we're doing, like wind power development, power lines and everything else, and eagles are interacting. And so the more that we're able to learn about eagles will help us understand in ways that we can manage for them.
The Manternach family was in town from St. Louis for the weekend with the hopes of catching an eagle in honor of their dad.
Now, your local traffic report, only on News 8's Good Morning Quad Cities.
It's time now for Total Travel. We check road conditions every 15 minutes here on Good Morning Quad Cities. Here's a live look at Interstate 74. This is near the Avenue of the City's exit in Moline. No problems to report so far this morning, but there are slick conditions out there. So if you are driving anywhere, whether you're on the interstate or side streets, keep that in mind. Give yourself maybe an extra couple of minutes. Go slow.
Yeah, slow going for sure. Still to come right here on Good Morning Quad Cities, the number of people killed overnight after a plane crashed into a small village.
Plus, catching your attention, how an Indiana state trooper is using emojis to send an important message.
And I'm meteorologist Eric Sorensen in the Weather Center with some breaking news right now. A viewer report from Chris Sakima says I-88 eastbound near the I-80 underpass, just where I-88 begins. A bunch of cars in the ditch, 12 to 15 cars on the side of the road with hazards on. Traffic is very slow eastbound on I-88. Be very careful. Continuing coverage of this winter weather when we come right back.
You're watching Good Morning Quad Cities with Jonathan Katz and Angie Sharp.